Wurde nicht sein soll.
Wie
Ja,
uitslacht.
Je weiß schon.
Sie
Du verstehst.
hängt hier.
Sag tschüss. Warte mal. Oh. Tschüss.
Johan. Did you come to say hello? Ja, ne? Bist du schon ganz müde? Hast du die Nacht sonst wo verbracht? Ja, ne? Did you fall asleep? Just saying hello, ne? Ja. You always go to Helen. You know she's carrying you out and she puts you down on your favorite chair. Ja, ne? Ne? This is the second time today that we have a large spider in our house. Spider, look at this one there. Can you see it? This morning we had one in bed, right on top of us, on the mosquito net. You have to come this way and flip it from here. And it's now using a spoon. Just go to the left, to your left.
Yeah. It might get blown towards us because of the wind.
No, it's not. Just flip her. Ah! Oh, she's running. Oh, she's jumping back. Oh, look, what? She's right. Look at the fence. Where is it? Can you see that?
Yeah.
That's a tarantula. She's got her. Look at that. Do I have it in the picture? Look at that.
Because they're obviously coming in.
It's mating season for spiders.
Una tarántula. Es una araña que hace esto para parecer un escorpión.
Ajá.
Para asustar.
Ah, es como una camuflaje.
Exactamente, es esto, un camuflaje. Señores,
Stella just said this is a spider, it's not a tarantula. It's one that imitates a scorpion by coming up that way. She was on her hind legs, putting up her front legs. Holy camoli. She's relaxed now. Ooh, that's a big spider. Go, move. Ooh. She's not going anywhere though.
Yeah, she wants to come back in. So we have to...
She is rather...
It's nice and warm in here. So there might be others.
I'm trying to get underneath her. Helen is crying.
We won the tennis. British woman, first time in 44 years. And it's been 53 years since a female British woman, won the US Open. That's a long time.
Gosh, that's so emotional. I rarely see Helen crying, but that really hurts. So Helen is super happy.
Oh, that was it. I wanted to see the match. Because it was an ace. She served an ace for the match. I mean, how can you believe that?
We're happy today because our home team HSV Hamburg won in the last minute the second league game as well. It's raining outside, but never mind. It's tears inside and rain outside.
44 years, it's a long time. It's a long time. You know, how old was I? I was 15. Wow. Oh, we're going to Werbung anyway.
Gosh, is that noisy from New York.
Yeah, it's...
You can tell Corona's almost over, the crowds are back.
Oh, there's no
It's so
corona.
noisy.
There's no corona in America.
It was so nice and quiet. Yeah.
They don't have anything over there, so...
And how many cases do we have here in Barichara?
0.
Yep.
According to Stella, but that's nothing. That doesn't mean anything at all, because they're only talking about cases that are not only symptomatic, but they've got problems. Those are the ones they count, because they don't do any testing. So 0 cases doesn't mean to say we don't have
We're
it
safe.
here. But we still wear our double masks when we go in, and we keep to ourselves and
Have fun watching sports.
Oh, did we mention that the British Embassy sent me back an email, and they said they confirmed actually that Colombia is not vaccinating foreigners unless they have a residence permit, or they've got long-term visas, and we don't have either. So none of us are getting vaccinated. But that's not true in other countries, because we know that foreigners, especially
In Argentina,
we know that
Ecuador.
in Argentina they can get vaccinated. I don't know about Paraguay, because I don't think they've got enough. Brazil, I don't know either. But it's you know, I don't see why, because we're just as, not only are we just as much at risk. You know, if we catch it, we'll pass it on, won't we? Because we might be asymptomatic and not even know.
And there's a new variant here in Colombia, which originated in January in Colombia.
Which we didn't even hear of until the WHO recognised it as a variant of concern. It's called mu.
Because
I should say mu because it's the Greek letter.
It might be resistant to the vaccines. They check that at the moment.
And it's 39% of the cases in Colombia. But I don't know how they know that, because they don't test.
Yeah.
You don't even need a PCR test to get to fly into Colombia, because we met somebody that we've seen last year, and he returned from Brazil. He had to wait because Colombia weren't allowing flights from Brazil because of their problems. And when he finally got to fly back to Colombia, he didn't need a PCR test. They didn't even
He didn't need any test.
What they wanted was yellow fever certificate, and he didn't have one because he hadn't been vaccinated against yellow fever. So he had to delay his flight, postpone his flight for a couple of weeks, so he could go and get the yellow fever jab. You know,
Ridiculous.
It's a bit ridiculous that, you know, when it's only 30% effective. Oh well. So,
But we're happily watching now the.
I want to see the ceremony for.
Okay, and then we might go for a quick walk.
Well, I don't think we're going to have time now. It's a bit late.
We see.
So we see. But yeah, 44-year wait is over, and Virginia Wade is there. She's the last one who won, the British woman. So and Emma Raducanu, she's the first qualifier
Ever. In any of the Grand Slams.
Male, female.
Of any of the Grand Slams. 18 years old.
18 years old.
How much does she win?
1.2 million, I think. It's a lot less than it was before.
We're back. So
we're back on. So we have to watch.
bye bye.
Bye. We heard a noise next door and thought that one of the cats had got locked into the laundry room again. But not a cat, it's a black-eared opossum. It belongs to the marsupial species and is related to kangaroos, koalas and others who carry their babies in a pouch. The black-eared opossum lives from the northeast of Mexico down to Bolivia. It is similar in size to a house cat, and their activity is mainly nocturnal. When they are in danger, they play dead, also called playing a possum.
We've got a visitor again.
Merel, du darfst nicht.
She needs her cuddle.
Du weißt. Und jetzt geht's los.
They always love when Helen carries them out.
Ja, ich weiß. Kleine. Ich weiß. Hallo. Du kommst
But she has her seat. She's basically just saying hello, saying she's there. And then she's resting on her little seat.
Oh.
And now she's pouring away. She needs her cuddle.
Hmm? Oh, ich weiß. There you've got your little seat. And you can stay there. Oh, God, after all that activity, now I have to clean myself. It's really sweet, because by now we get a visit from all 3 cats in our house from time to time. They know that we don't allow them inside, but that makes it even more interesting for them to come in. So when we don't pay attention, they walk in on silent feet and throw themselves against our legs just to say hello. Here I am, Helen. You can take me out now. Meow. Wow, that was right over there. That was right over Radichara. I can stand here and watch this all night.
Only at a certain distance.
Well, it's a natural spectacle. It's an extravaganza. It's an extravaganza.
Two we get hit.
We don't get many of these. It's going
That was right where the antenna was the other. That was on that Loma hill.
Yeah. It seems to be going to our right.
I'm still doing my veggie garden. I've got some new lettuce planted, and these other ones here, I'll let them go to seed, so I've got some more seeds. And then I've done some little more projects. I just threw in some peppercorns into earth, yellow peppers that we bought in town, and surprisingly, they're coming out. I'm amazed. I'll see if that works. And I did the same for some Roma tomatoes. I just threw the Roma, cut it up and threw it into the earth, and I get seeds here as well. And a few months ago I did put a cherry tomato into earth, and I've got this giant plant. It's growing all the way up to the roof. And I've got about 40 tomatoes coming out of it. And I get lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of little cherry tomatoes, which I'm really pleased about. Some of them are already turning colors. We are in a taxi this morning, and we are driving to San Gil to get, hopefully, vaccination. We will see if it works today.
This is attempt number 7.
Attempt number 7. It said on the internet that they are vaccinating migrantes and foreigners, hopefully. So we're checking it out. It's very early for us. It's just after 8. We really had to rush it for breakfast. So this is the Colosseo, and we're waiting in the line. There's quite a lot of people already inside. It might be a while until we are vaccinated.
After only 15 minutes outside, our group got called in. We all had to hand over identity cards, but we're the only ones with real passports this morning.
Helen's passport is getting registered already. He doesn't know the date. Obviously he can read a passport.
When we read the information about migrants being vaccinated today in San Gil last night, we weren't sure if it's only meant for refugees from Venezuela. So Stella phoned up the San Gil hospital at 7:15 a.m. this morning, and they said we can come too. About 4 weeks ago, the health office in Barichara asked all foreigners to register at their office to get a vaccination in Colombia. 100 people, including us, put their names on the list in Barichara, and the list was sent to Bogota on September the 30th. We were told it takes about 20 to 30 days to get a response from the Colombian Ministry of Health via email. We decided spontaneously to get the first vaccination done today in San Gil rather than wait. Who knows if we'll ever get an email. We had high hopes before and were disappointed so many times already, but this time is looking good here today.
This is very well organized here. Helen is going to register. I needed to give directions where we live, phone number.
I had to answer a few questions such as, have you had symptoms in the last week? Have you had a tetanus injection recently? And other health-related questions. Because they always have problems with foreign passports, I wanted to make sure they hadn't mixed up my surname with my forenames. And what did I find? My surname wasn't even there, and instead they'd written British citizen as my surname. Why? Because directly under my forenames in my passport it says British citizen. The surname is at the top, and Colombians all have double surnames, one from the father and one from their mother. so they got it mixed up. Good job I checked. I better check Kirsten's too.
Helen is checking that they did our name. Gracias.
The other thing we wanted to make them do was to aspirate when they vaccinate us. Latest research shows that corona vaccines put into a blood vessel rather than the muscle causes the heart problems and thrombosis. So we asked our guy if he would aspirate. He said they normally don't do it, but if we wanted, he would do it for us. Perfect.
Perfectamente.
Va a ser también, ¿listo? 0.5 lo que se le va a administrar, ¿listo? Duramos 10 minutitos después de la vacuna y ahí sí se puede retirar.
Expirar, respiration, and then putting it super.
10 minutitos
Bueno.
se puede retirar.
Muchas gracias. Muy amable. We made it. We did it. We have our first vaccination with AstraZeneca.
Finally got it. Number 7. Attempt number 7.
And it worked. We're happy. We're really, really happy. And we can go and for the second one in 28 days if we wanted to.
Or we can wait.
Or we can wait. It's up to us, which is perfect.
You see when the borders are open, and as soon as the borders are open, we have to go and get vaccinated again.
Well, we can go here anytime. We're happy. This is the day after the injection. We both feel like 30 years older. Bones are aching, back aching. We didn't sleep much either. Helen thinks her left arm is like dead weight.
It's a lot better now.
Yeah.
That was overnight, but what is it, 24, 28 hours after our injection.
Yeah, we both can feel it.
Oh, do I have a bruise or anything? Can you see a bruise?
No, you can't see it. I suffered from a headache all night, but it's finally going away. And we both didn't sleep very well, and you can feel it. I mean, I can feel my blood pressure being a little higher. I think that's pretty normal, isn't it? And bones are aching. I had it a lot worse when I had my yellow fever injection about 3 years ago. I was in pain for 2 weeks with high fever. I feel a little hot, but it's not a fever. It's just, it feels a bit like there's a flu coming on. This is what I feel like. Your bone aches, tired, a little bit of a headache, and but otherwise we're looking pretty good. We're feeling quite normal. We're going to take it easy for the next few days. You're not supposed to do exercise and whatnot anyway. It's a good excuse for us, I suppose. Taking it easy we do anyway, and every time. But yeah, we're happy that it's over, and I think gradually we're gonna get over this bad feeling. With AstraZeneca, it's normally with the first injection anyway. It's a lot stronger than with Pfizer and Moderna. You usually get the side effects with the second one. Apparently with AstraZeneca, with the second one, you don't feel much anymore. Am I right on that?
Don't feel anything.
Yeah, so we're doing okay, but we're relieved. Cross fingers.
We get the second one.
We get the second one, and we can get across the borders in the future with our Spanish vaccination pass. It's nothing is digital here. There's no QR code or anything. It's just a piece of paper, handwritten, could be written by anybody, I suppose. I've heard from Ecuador that people who got vaccinated in the States, their vaccination pass from the States is not acknowledged in Ecuador. So they have to get vaccinated again in Ecuador, which is totally ridiculous. Some of the stuff is just not understandable. It's too complicated. But yeah, we're just going to take the day very easy. I'm baking a blueberry cake right now. I'm gonna watch some Champions League football, and otherwise we just slum. We bought a blood pressure gadget 2 months ago or so, like something that 2 old biddies actually need for the future, and I'm just measuring mine. Let's have a look. What does it say? Oh my God, babes, it's really low today. 109, 108 over 69. But yeah, the pulse is 94, see? Pulse is really high. I haven't had it this high. I can feel it. I can feel the pounding in my ears. But my blood pressure is really low. Normally I have 120 to 78 or something. Am I going to die?
No. No.
Shall we measure yours and see what it's like?
We don't need to. I think mine's low anyway.
You see how if Helen is still alive. Helen usually has a real low blood pressure. You're supposed to sit for 5 minutes and relax. Breathing, you alive?
Oh, mine's normal. 103 over 66.
Come on, seated. Hold it into the light. Turn it a little.
Sorry, 103 over 66.
And the pulse?
80.
Oh, that's high for you. Yes, see? We're both on a high.
I'm normally
You're under 70.
under 70.
You're 60, 62 normal. So yeah, the blood pressure, the pulse goes definitely up. I'm usually at around 80, 76 to 80, and I'm 94 today.
Whilst we finally got vaccinated, the pandemic is still not over.
A court in Austria is hearing a civil case against the government's handling of the coronavirus outbreak at a ski resort that's believed to have helped the disease spread across Europe. Italy is to make it compulsory for all workers to have a COVID green pass. People will be required to prove they've been vaccinated, have had a negative test, or have recovered from the virus. The UK's travel rules are about to get a major overhaul with fewer coronavirus tests and a simpler system of restrictions.
COVID rules are being eased in the Netherlands on Saturday. Social distancing is no longer required and nightclubs can reopen for the first time since the start of the pandemic.
The Australian Prime Minister says fully vaccinated Australians will be able to enter and leave the country freely from November. It's the first time they'll be able to do so without permission since Australia closed its international borders in March 2020.
Provisional clinical trial results suggest an experimental drug for severe COVID cuts the risk of hospitalisation or death by about half. If authorised by regulators, the new drug would be the first oral antiviral medication for COVID-19.
Demonstrations against the Brazilian president Jair Bolsonaro have been taking place in dozens of towns and cities across the country. Many Brazilians are unhappy with the right-wing president's handling of the pandemic that's killed nearly 600,000 people in Brazil. The London Marathon will welcome back more than 40,000 runners to its traditional route today after last year's event was replaced with a virtual run because of the pandemic.
The The world's first malaria vaccine, produced by the British pharmaceutical company GSK, is to be used to help children across much of Africa, following pilots in 3 countries. The World Health Organization has endorsed its widespread use.
And Brazil has become only the second country after the US to register more than 600,000 COVID-related deaths.
The UK's initial response to the COVID pandemic was one of the worst national public health failures ever, a report by MPs says. It says there was an attempt, in effect, to try and achieve herd immunity by infection. The Republican governor of Texas has issued an executive order barring all COVID vaccine mandates in the state, including private businesses. Last month, President Biden called on employers to require their workers to be vaccinated. Thailand plans to end COVID quarantine requirements for fully jabbed travellers from at least 10 low-risk nations, including the UK, China, Germany and the US. It's seen as a key step to revive the country's collapsed tourism sector.
Russia has recorded more than 1,000 deaths from coronavirus in a single day for the first time since the start of the pandemic. The infection rate has also continued to soar.
Stay tuned for more videos.